Yeah, to Virginia Beach, where victims are reacting to the arrest of two 17-year-olds. They're believed to be connected to a rash of shootings. In the span of just 9 days, police say there were 7 shootings, 2 of which were fatal. Stephen Graves spoke with those still on edge as physical and emotional healing begins.
Living life has a whole new meaning for this Virginia Beach woman.
The bullet's still in me. I cannot lift anything and I'm sore.
Less than a week ago, she was shot in the comfort of her own home, her husband too. Because of this, she doesn't want to show her face on TV.
The fact that it missed my spinal cord is a miracle.
A miracle she and her husband weren't killed, especially as they look at the bigger picture.
When you look at that and you think, wow.
You see, Virginia Beach police believe 2 17-year-olds are not only responsible for this woman's shooting, but 6 other incidents. Police say the shootings happened over the span of just 9 days. 2 people were murdered, multiple injured, shattering the Scarborough neighborhood's sense of security.
It sucks.
Victims are scared of retaliation or even copycats. This woman's roommate was shot in the torso. He's still recovering.
Murdering somebody's no joke. Injuring somebody's no joke. Coming up to somebody's door and shooting them is no joke.
Police say they received an anonymous tip that led them to the teens. Evidence was reportedly found in their homes, linking them to the crimes.
As a mother who has lost a child, these mothers, you know, their children more than likely will spend the rest of their lives in jail. This has shattered their family as well.
The women say they've already forgiven whoever's done this, but if there's concrete evidence against the accused teens,
then they deserve to be tried as adults.
I do believe that at 17 you have the understanding of what you did.
Now, 13 News Now did some digging, and we found out that Virginia state law actually mandates that 17-year-olds be tried as adults if they're charged with first or second degree murder. Now, police are expected to release those charges soon, and if tried as an adult, more information surrounding the crimes could be made public as well. We'll continue to provide more details as we know them. For now, I'm Stephen Graves, 13 News Now.